Hey, Stacy.
Yes.
All right, so we're actually live now. All we have to do is wait for the participants. I'll give back the host to you so you can make me a co-host.
All right.
All right.
Got it. Let me go ahead and do that.
All right.
There you go. Co-host. Okay.
Okay, I think we're all set now. I'll just be in the background.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And I'll be sending you the attendance as well through Slack after the class. Okay.
All righty.
All right. Thanks.
Hi, everyone.
Stacy, how you doing this morning?
Hey, I'm doing great. Cassandra, how are you? Good to see you. Did you work out with us this morning?
Yes, I did.
All right. Good.
I have worked out all this week with you.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, I'm
Mhm.
so glad. I see a lot of my regulars coming in. I'm so glad to see you guys. This is my first time doing a session like this.
Okay.
So it's be a little different for me. Hi there. Hi, it's great to see all your faces. Wonderful.
I got that
Look at
big
you.
ball. Do weights.
What's that?
I said I have the great big ball. You know the great big one?
Yes.
I got that one.
Wonderful. We'll talk a little bit about that. Okay, you guys. I see more of you joining us. So glad to see you all. Some of you, I haven't seen your faces before, and this is wonderful. It's like nice to meet you after all this time.
Mhm.
Nice to meet you as well.
Oh, thank you.
We've really enjoyed your classes.
Oh, thanks. I'm so glad. I hope you enjoy this session too. It's really different for me. I haven't done anything like this before, and so we'll just have to see how it goes. I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants here, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. Hope we all do.
We will.
We will.
Oh, you're so kind. Thank you.
We need all the help we can get.
Oh, well, we all do, right? We all benefit from one another and the help of one another.
It's nice
So,
to have a community to look forward to.
yes, I agree. I think that's what gets me motivated for these classes is knowing that you all are going to be here and that we all kind of share something special in that moment that we're working out together. Okay, we've got 19 of you here already sharing lunch with me, perhaps. Maybe you're eating today. Maybe you've got a snack with you. I did have my snack in between, and I've got my water, my handy water bottle that you see. Very good. I see those water bottles. Excellent. So we have a TA with us this morning from Get Set Up, and it is Lester. Lester is with us. He's available in the chat if you have any questions or if you are in need of technical support at all. Hi, Marianne. Did you have a question? Is your hand raised? Or are you just saying hello?
I can't bring myself up. I don't know why.
You can't show your face?
Right.
You have down at the bottom left of your screen the little icon that looks like a video camera.
Right.
Does it have a red line through it?
Right.
Well, click on it and the red line will go away and then we'll be able to see you.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Let me lower my hand.
I hope that works for you.
It should, as soon as I get me. Don't
Good.
hold the class up.
No, I'm going to go ahead and share my
Right.
welcome slides. And before I do that, let me just tell you that right now, the format of this class is rather loosely planned. I have a series of slides. I have some links to YouTube videos that we can share. I have actual fitness equipment here that I can show you. And hopefully I'll be able to answer your questions about the fitness equipment. So let's just see how it goes. I've not done this before. As I was saying before, I have not done a class where I'm sort of instructing from right here in front of the screen, sharing slides, and then maybe intermittently demonstrating something. And I'm not quite sure how that's going to work, but we'll just try it and see. I'm game if you are. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. Hopefully I can find my new slides. Here they are. Going into present mode. Here we go. All right, so we're going to be talking today about fitness equipment for home use. And that's my stuff right there that I am showing right here in the slide. And we'll go through and we'll talk about this. Basically, I have a bunch of resistance bands of different types. These are also resistance bands. I have a set of dumbbells. You've all seen me use those in the morning classes. I have my unweighted fitness balls. This is a yoga mat right here. It's in its case. I have a step. I have a Bosu Ball. And some of the other pieces of equipment that we're going to discuss, I don't own necessarily, and they're not here, but I have pictures and I'll show you some. But before we get started with that, I have to go through the regular housekeeping for Get Set Up and introduce myself for those of you who've not taken a class with me before. Hi, my name is Stacy. I'm a fitness guide here with Get Set Up, and I'm from the Keystone State of Pennsylvania. I have a master's degree in counseling psychology, and I've been certified through the National Academy of Sports Medicine and the Athletic and Fitness Association of America as a group fitness instructor and personal trainer since the very beginning of time when fitness certifications first started around the mid-1980s. I love fitness and everything connected with fitness. I have worked in fitness centers. I've been a group instructor, personal trainer. I've been a manager at a club. I've sold gym memberships. I have even owned a fitness studio briefly in the 1990s. And I loved it. All of that is wonderful. And I really love connecting with people about fitness. And I especially enjoy answering questions and helping people get started with fitness. Get Set Up is a training and educational platform that helps you learn useful skills from people just like yourself, so we can do amazing and fabulous things together. And just remember, we do learn from one another. So hopefully we can see you. You have your cameras on and you've joined us as a member of this community, and you're going to participate and ask questions and chat. So I hope to see all of your smiling faces. Remember that you can request a recording of today's class by emailing help@getsetup.io. And if you're joining from the live stream, welcome. Glad you're here. I'm happy that you found us. But remember, the best way to participate fully is to join us and register. And the advantage of doing that really is that you can participate more fully in a class like this one, where we are going to be chatting, where there will be questions and answers, and you will get the email after class that contains some key takeaways from today's class. There will be a document attached that will have links to the videos that I show you and some other just little highlights about the equipment that we discuss. Now, since we're talking equipment today, I got to tell you, Get Set Up is not being paid to promote any of these products Anything that I show, talk about, or demonstrate, nobody's getting anything for that. So this is what I'm hoping to address today in our group session. What kind of portable fitness equipment might be recommended for home use? How can I get the use out of it? How can I use it safely? And what might I need to do to make sure that the equipment is maintained and stays safe? So my first question for all of you is, what do you already have that you don't know how to
You need
use,
the light
like to use a little bit more?
You want this one off?
Anybody
Okay,
want to?
I have a hula hoop and I have a
Nice.
jump rope. I have a jump rope. However, with the jump rope, that would be high impact. So that's the reason why I haven't used that jump rope. And I also have bands and things of that nature. And then I have 10-pound weights.
Okay.
But I haven't tried to use those because I'm using in your class the 3 and the 5.
Yes.
I use the 3 more often than the 5. But what I wanted to know was when I would be able to make the progression to 10-pound weights. You know, how would I be able to gauge that?
The best way to answer that would be to tell you that when you're ready to increase weight, you will feel like you're not getting any benefit out of the 5-pound weight. So let's say you're doing biceps curls. We do 2 sets or 3 sets of 8 in my classes, and we do them at varying speeds. And typically the day after or 2 days after, you might feel muscle soreness in your biceps. When you no longer feel that, you're ready for 10s. And actually you can get 8s in between, and I might recommend that you use 8s before you jump to 10s, or put your 5 and your 3 together. You could hold the 5 and 3 together to make 8 pounds before you take the jump to 10s. And the first time you go to 8 pounds for your biceps curls, maybe you don't do 3 sets of 8, maybe just 1 set of 8, and then downgrade to the 5 pounds and finish up with the 3 pounds. And you don't want to feel any stress and strain in the elbow, which is where if it's too much for you, your elbows are going to be sore. And we really want to avoid that. And that's why I always issue that precaution to keep your elbows tight at your waist. Okay, let me move on. I see that I have Myrna has a question, right? Okay.
Yeah. I have a large and a medium-sized fitness ball.
Okay. Are
And
those the unweighted balls?
Yeah, those are the big balls that they're not the handball. Those big balls.
And we will talk about those in this class. I do have a little section devoted to the balance ball, which is the large ball.
Okay.
We'll
Okay.
talk about that. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Let me move on. Okay, Rosemary, real quick, and then let me move on and we'll try and address questions about the equipment as we get to them.
I have a kettlebell.
Okay. I am going to talk about kettlebells.
Oh, bell.
So-
Okay.
Hang on till we get to that. Thanks for mentioning it.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Here is really what I'm hoping to talk about. I have identified 10 pieces of fitness equipment. And again, let me remind you, you're going to get a document at the end of class that will list all of these items again and give you a link or something about the exercises so that you can review what we've talked about in class. So I have highlighted 4 items on this list of 10 things that are my favorites, my personal favorites. Number 1 is an unweighted fitness ball, which I use in the core training class. That is my #1 recommendation, especially for older adults. There's a lot you can do with this unweighted ball. My second one is dumbbells, and I'm going to talk about kettlebells in a minute. So lightweight dumbbells. The third thing I recommend is a stretching strap, and I have a little information about that further on in my presentation. And finally, a set of resistance bands. Those are the 4 key items. All 4 of them are relatively inexpensive as well. So you can get a lot out of those 4 items. But if there's only one thing you can get, one thing you can afford that you want to add to your fitness equipment, get a ball, get a fitness ball. All right. So here's a little bit about unweighted fitness balls. They come in different sizes. And right now I'm just talking about the small balls, the ones that you can hold in your hand that are 8 to 9 inches in diameter. We'll talk about balance balls later. An unweighted fitness ball benefits you. It can strengthen your core. It helps with stability, balance, rhythm, coordination, and range of motion. And they're really inexpensive and easy to transport. I have a very short video clip to share with you. This guy, and it's on the Silver Sneakers website, and it's open and available to anyone. I'm sure you've heard of Silver Sneakers. So you can find a lot of different things on that website. This guy does 1.5 minutes and shows you things you can do with a fitness ball that they're nothing that I do in my class. So they're really different, and I think you'll enjoy it. And he's loading. Here he is right here.
Part of my job as a fitness professional is to magnify the good in all the fitness tools that are available to you. And I've got to tell you, the ball is one of my favorite. And I don't think that's a coincidence. The earth is round, the sun is round. Sports have been at the center of round balls as far as I can remember. Hippocrates was prescribing balls for people thousands of years ago to fix ailments in physical wellness. And here we are. We're left with the ball. It's light, it's portable, it's inexpensive, and what you can do with it is endless. From bouncing it and having to move in space, which forces our brain and our body to work, it's called kinesthetic differentiation. How much energy do I need to put into something to get it to go where I want it to go? And then how do I get it safely and return it back to where I want it to be? It's throwing and catching, hand-eye coordination, which is so good for the brain-body connection. It is turning and rotating, getting range of motion in all of our joints, in all of the ways that we move. We can get our core with the ball. We can play with the ball with somebody else. We can change levels with it. We can work on our grip. It's endless. I'm telling you, if there's anything that you want to have in your fitness toolbox, it's a ball, it's small, it's light, and it's endless.
Okay. So that's the only video that I'm going to show you that's from start to finish because it's really short. He talks fast and gives you a lot of information. And I have to agree, that's why I love the ball. So think about that. The next thing I recommend is dumbbells. It's really important to continue strengthening your body. Muscle mass just simply naturally decreases as we age. Makes strength training one of the most important things we can do to keep ourselves fit and healthy, make sure we don't fall, stay strong, and be able to do the things that we want to do. And what's nice about dumbbells is they're portable. You can work all your muscle groups safely and in the privacy of your home. Unlimited number of exercises. They're inexpensive and easy to transport. You should typically find dumbbells average about $1 a pound, and you may be able to find them less expensive, and I'm sure you can find them more expensive than that. My photo here shows my personal dumbbells. I have a 2-pound set a 3-pound set and a 5-pound set in this picture. I also have 8, 10, and 12 pounds, and some much heavier sets that are, I don't know what to, they're able to change weight from 12.5 pounds up to 50. And I don't know what to call that, but they're adjustable. There's the word. They're adjustable. Now, we had a question about kettlebells and dumbbells. Which is better or worse? So here's the thing. Dumbbells are easy to control. The center of gravity is right in your hand when you hold them. With a kettlebell, you can see the handle is here, and the center of gravity on this weight is 6 to 8 inches off center, away from the way you hold it. Now, for bodybuilders and weightlifters and folks who are working on explosive energy for their sport, this is beneficial because just having to hold on to it and work with it requires that you use different muscles that you're maybe not normally used to activating. But for the average person, they're not necessary. So I have another here. So kettlebells are better for improving explosive physical moves like basketball or CrossFit games. I don't know that any of you are doing that. I know I'm not. Their center of gravity is 6 to 8 inches away from where you hold them, and that causes a lack of stability. My recommendation is to avoid kettlebells unless you've had specific instruction by a personal trainer. Dumbbells are safer, provide more stability, and are overall more versatile. I'll be honest, I looked at kettlebells when they first came out. I think they're cool. And I found them to be a little expensive, and I just wasn't sure that I needed the redundancy. Did I need a 10-pound kettlebell when I have 10-pound dumbbells? I decided that I didn't. There wasn't any specific exercise that could be done with a kettlebell for me that I couldn't do with a dumbbell. So this is an individual decision, but this is just my recommendations. So
Stacy, what about the,
let me stop and just see if there's any questions right now before I go on.
yeah, I was wanting to know about the wrist and ankle weights.
Wrist and ankle weights. I think they're good. It depends on what you're doing with them. If you're using them to do controlled exercises, like you're sitting in a chair and with your ankle weight, maybe you're doing those leg extensions like I demonstrate in my seated classes, or you're doing the marching very gently, I think that's pretty good. What's not recommended with those weights is that you're taking a cardio class with 1-pound weights on your wrists, or marching or going on a hike with 1 pound, or even, I don't know, maybe they're available in a 1/2 pound weights around your ankles. What they can do that you don't want is they can pull the ligaments at your knee. They can cause some instability there because you also have to lift your foot, and it's heavy now, heavier than it normally would be. I actually, in the past, had a pair of weighted shoes for hiking. And I wore them, on occasion from time to time, and found that they caused quite a bit of discomfort in the muscle in the front of my shin, anterior tibialis. Very uncomfortable because of lifting my leg and holding that little bit of extra weight in those shoes. I used them for a time and decided that they really weren't helping me in any way, shape, or form. So, it's up to you if that's something that you would like. One of the things you could do is use the wrist weights. If you have, let's say, 2 or 3 pound weights that you're using in a class with me, and you want to just increase 1 pound, you could use that wrist weight, and that would just increase the tension that you're putting on the muscle, kind of help you to go maybe from the 3 to the 5 pound dumbbell. That would give you a little intermediate amount of weight to use.
I just usually just hold them as if they were hand weights. I just hold them in my hand.
Okay, well, that's good too. Probably
Okay.
the safest. So one of
Okay.
the things that we ought to be doing as we get older is making sure that we're stretching. If our muscles get too tight because we're not stretching, it can be a real common source of injury and discomfort. And because a lot of stretches are demonstrated sort of at a maximum, like you think about a seated stretch where your legs are out directly in front of you and you're reaching out toward your feet, but you can't go very far and you just sort of feel like you're bobbing there and trying to hold on. I'm going to go demonstrate it in my chair. I don't want to sit on the floor. Not sure that you can see me, but let me just do this really quick. I'm going to just sit here, but imagine that I was on the floor. I have my feet extended out in front of me and I want to work my hamstrings. So the instructor is saying, reach out for your feet, reach out for your feet, but you can't reach them. She's out here laying down on her thighs, holding onto her foot, but you're not there yet. The fitness strap or the stretching strap is a solid piece of fabric. It does not stretch, but it helps encourage when you are not able or ready to meet the full stretch. So let me just show you. If I had my feet out in front of me and I'm sitting on the floor, I would be able to hold on to this strap, encourage my toes to head toward the ceiling, which is a stretch in itself through my entire leg. And then holding on to this stretch, I can lean into my legs and feet, but I have this support right here. So I don't feel like I'm floundering around, bobbing out toward my legs. So that's just an example of the stretch strap. And I have a little video real quick. We'll just look at one exercise. Perhaps I can always kind of go quickly through it. Let's see what we have here.
It's Planet Fitness's best deal ever. Super free. Super free. Get your first month free. No enrollment, then only $10 a month.
Coach Kim, seasoned personal trainer. We have a 15-minute stretch session.
We're not going to watch 15 minutes.
I'm not going to say that 10 times real quick. But your lower back, your hips, your shoulders, we're going to open everything up. You're going to feel amazing after this. All right, so what I'd like you to do, and what's nice about the stretch strap, it has these little handles. If you happen to have a strap that doesn't have handles, that's fine as well. But I want your feet about shoulder width, maybe a little bit wider. I want your hands in a nice wide grip. Lift the arms up. Keep that strap tight, and then come back down. Nice. My knees are soft, my tummy's tight, and I'm bringing that strap up and out. You're going to feel that open up the shoulders, the chest. Really, really great. If you do have shoulder issues, I really encourage you to move that shoulder around because motion is lotion.
Let's look at another one.
Bully with yourself here. It's like you're playing a little tug of war, and you know, don't overstretch. Bring it down and up. Let's get one more. Down and up. Great stretches using the strap here for your hamstrings, your hip flexors, IT bands, and lower backs. So let's find that firm surface. And if you have a strap like mine, that's great. I'd put it through the middle loop. If you don't have a loop, just put the strap around the bottom part of your foot. So we're going to start. I'm starting with my left leg bent, my right leg straight out. So your leg doesn't have to be bent, but those with back issues, you'll prefer it. I'm going to lay flat. I'm going to choke up on the strap. Now, what do I mean by that? See how I'm choking up on it? Notice my leg is straight. I don't want it bent. Straighten it up, hold it for a couple seconds, and then lower that leg down. I'm going to...
Okay. So there's the stretch strap. And the link for this video will be included in your document. This girl that was just in that video, she calls herself a seasoned fitness instructor. So she's in our age group. And I love that she's in great shape and she demonstrates quite a number of exercises pretty quickly through this video. So that may be a nice one if you're looking at stretching. And here's another thing about a strap. You don't need to buy a strap. You could go to, if you don't have a man in your life with a necktie somewhere or an old necktie hanging around your house, go to a used clothing store and pick up a cheap old necktie, and you could use that rather than purchasing this expensive. Well, I don't know that they're that expensive, maybe $15 or something for a good fitness strap. I know that they're also used frequently in yoga classes. And so maybe a yoga studio might sell something like this as well. Okay, if I move on. All right. So that's my picture of all that equipment again. Okay, so then my next suggestion, my number 4 on the list, is resistance bands. Resistance bands are a great alternative to weight training. They have some advantages. One is that it helps you engage your stabilizing muscles. So again, it's those little small muscle groups that are not often used. So you're not just doing a biceps curl with the resistance band, but you're working more muscles around your upper arm and your forearm, because you have to hold that elastic band in line as you bend your elbow. It's easy to control the angle and intensity of the movement. And what I mean by that is when you start to pull on a resistance band, initially you don't get a lot of resistance, but the more you pull it, the further you stretch it, the more resistance you get. So when I talk about modifying with a dumbbell, for instance, you're holding a dumbbell and it's already 2 or 3 pounds, and you can't change that. I can say, make the movement smaller, and you don't move as far, but the amount of weight you're holding doesn't change. Whereas with a resistance band, and I have some right here to show you. So here's an example of a resistance band. It's the one shown here in the picture, the yellow one. It happens to have handles here on the end, and it has this little tube right here. You can see that I'm stretching it like that. So when you first start pulling, and let me just show you right here in front, as I start to pull, I don't feel very much, but the further I pull, the more I stretch the band, the harder it becomes to pull this band, and then I release it. So it's so much easier to stop when you can't go any further than it is when you already have a weight in your hand. And the only way to really stop is if you're going to drop it. Okay, so we don't want to do that. And I'm going to just show you a couple things. Let me see, did I put a video with this one? Anyway, you can do exercises with your resistance band. You can do them in a chair. You can do them standing. They are inexpensive, lightweight, and versatile. They are very safe. However, you have to check them constantly for cracks and tears because they have been known to snap. And I'm going to tell you that really lately, I'm seeing a lot of resistance bands that are being sold with some type of an attachment that you put on your door, whether you put it over the door or along the side where the door closes, or hook it onto the doorknob. There's all these contraptions that hook a resistance band to the door, and then people step 4 or 5 feet away and they're doing these exercises, and I keep seeing injuries where the band snaps, the whole contraption that's attached to the door snaps off and smacks the person in the back, the face, the chest. People are getting some nasty bruises for those. So honestly, I'm staying away from that. It's up to you, but I don't want to see anybody get hurt or bruised. And they just don't seem to be as safe as the ones that you hold in your hand and control more safely.
Stacy,
yes.
I was gonna say, Harry Reid, who was the former majority leader in the Senate, lost one of his eyes from a safety band. I mean, one of those things that snapped. He lost the sight in one eye, and that just happened a few years ago. Yep.
I hadn't heard that, but I've seen some bruises where some various fitness instructors have posted online about being injured and, you know, cautioning people. So I don't know, they continue to sell them and people continue to get hurt. Oops, I didn't want that one.
Stacy,
Back.
Yes. What's the difference between the ones that are like the tubes versus the ones that are flat? Is there advantage over one or the other, or do you use them for
I
different
think
things?
it's really just what you want to hold on to. In fact, the girl that I'm going to show you the video, she does exercises and she uses the flat. They're called TheraBands, and they're also available in various thicknesses, which contributes to how much resistance you get. And she wraps them around her hands so that she has a good grip as she uses them. I don't happen to have any, but it's on my list to get so that I can work with them. And as I begin to add classes for you guys, that I have just sort of a number of things in my repertoire that we can demonstrate. So let's look here at Natalie real quick.
You ever wondered what
I'm
actors
sorry
and
about the
actresses do when
ads.
they have to get in shape really fast for a movie? Because I can promise you, it's not the same diet that you're following.
Hi guys, Natalie Jill. You're on Happy, Healthy, and Fit today. We're doing a short workout.
I think my internet is freezing a little bit with her. Ugh. Well.
Out with bands. I love bands because I love body weight exercises, and what bands allow you to do are create a greater resistance while you're still using body weight and you're doing everything functional versus a machine which is restricting everything. It's just adding a little extra resistance. So everything I'm going to do today, you can do with a band if you have them. If you don't, you can do them without a band, just fully using your own body weight. You're still getting functional training, but without the restrictive equipment, because you're using your own body weight, but you're adding resistance by using bands. So resistance bands are a great thing for functional exercises because you're still using primarily your own body weight, but you're able to add I'm going to show you 4 different exercises, 2 for upper body, squeezing. This will really work your back.
You see how she has those flat bands, the TheraBand?
Together, squeeze. The closer you put your hands, the harder. Put one foot down on it. Now hold it. Grab the other side in your hand, and we're going to just push it forward. Here. Are you ready? Take it up. Working shoulder here. Doing one at a time. If you want, if you got the tubing at the handles, you can always lift 2 at a time or alternate. But doing one, all that. Or you can also use a hand wave around our legs, down by our calves. You want to make it somewhat tight because you want to create that resistance. Just tying it here, a double knot with the band. Okay, this one is harder than it looks. So make sure you're doing it with me and you're not just watching me because you want to get results here. So all we're gonna do, you're gonna squat down slightly and we're gonna step open and tap. Ready? All right, open and tap. We're gonna go down to the ground on our backs. Take down here, lay down. The band, you're gonna take across your thighs here, securing your hands tight, holding it here because you create a resistance. And we're gonna take it up here to a glute bridge. Are you ready? Everybody.
Okay, so that gives you some idea of just a couple things that you can do with the bands. And I'm going to show you just a couple more in the chair real quick. I don't want to spend a lot of time because I want to keep moving on and we're more than halfway through. So I like using the bands with the chair, and I think this is a great option. Here's why. You can use the chair to anchor your band. So I have the chair here wrapped around the back of the chair. And I'm going to go ahead and sit down and hold my handles on this particular band. I don't have a lot of resistance here because this band is big, but I could wrap it around again. And just pushing forward like this, it's a different kind of an exercise, because if I had just dumbbells in my hand and pushed forward, I wouldn't feel the same type of resistance. You can also take, I'm going to take a different band and put it actually underneath the chair. And pull up. And in this way, I could do biceps curls. I could do like what Natalie was showing with those arm extensions, lifting to the front right here. I could lift with straight arms out to the side. And one of the other nice things about bands that you can't really do with dumbbells is a cross body movement like this. So I have the band out in front of me. I'm holding the other one by my side, and I just want to pull across my body. This activates this front area of my deltoid or shoulder muscle as I reach across. And you can do it the opposite way. Well, I'd have to hook up the bands a different way, but I could also create resistance going across this way. Maybe, yeah. I need to play around with how to hook it to do it that way. But that's one of the things that I really like about the resistance bands, is that I kind of feel like there's an unlimited amount of ways that you can use them. I have another little one right here that's just small with handles. This one can be used to do this sort of press apart like this. Pulling, another one would be to hold on to it and pull back like you're using a bow and arrow, pulling back, squeezing those shoulders behind your back with this little one. So see, I have a whole collection of different ones, but I think if I had that flat TheraBand like Natalie in our video was demonstrating, there would be more versatility with it, and I wouldn't have to have all these different ones. So I'm going to look into that. And maybe next time I do this particular class, I'll have that and can talk a little bit more about it. So a couple of you mentioned that you have a large ball. The large balls are really cool and they're excellent. I have one, but I use mine in a chair at work. That is actually me at my day job. I have what's called a ball chair. Got it on Amazon. It's under $100 for the whole kit and caboodle. So the ball is separate and can be replaced if it were to crack or tear. And the frame that the ball sits on is very lightweight. It's made of a sturdy plastic. The manufacturer is Giam, G-I-A-M or A-I-M. Anyway, I do really like it. And as a seat during the day, it helps me with my core strength and stability. If I keep my legs further apart, I'm more stable. If I have my feet together, I could very easily topple off one side of the ball or the other. So it's kind of cool and it's very soft. I really like it because my backside doesn't get tired of sitting on this ball chair. And the height is adjustable. I have extra here on the bottom of the leg. I have extending legs. So they're a little bit higher than the original chair. That you can order them as an extra, I guess, because I'm a little bit taller, but also because my desk is higher and I like to be high at my desk. So I wanted that extra height. To be technically correct in the chair, my thighs should be horizontal with the floor. And as you can see, they're angled here. And that's just my personal preference because I want to be higher at the desk. So I highly recommend a ball. But without the chair, there are lots of exercises you can do with the ball. Now, this little graphic is also included in the document that you will receive after class today. So it will come in your email. So here's just a couple exercises. The use of a ball encourages core strength, stability, it improves balance, and in an exercise like a sit-up or a crunch right here, it gives you an increased range of motion because you see she's arched back over the ball, but you don't have to be that far. You could be in this position and crunch forward from here. So it provides extra support. And if you want to do this arms and legs exercise right here to help develop the muscles in your back, those long muscles, the erector spinae muscles, that ball provides additional support so you don't have to go down on the floor and lay on your belly, but rather you can lean right over the ball and lift. What she's doing is lifting her opposite arm and leg simultaneously. And it's for stability and core strength, but really it is working the muscles in her back. Here's an exercise that works your hips, your hamstrings, the muscles of your buttocks. You're on your back, you've got this ball here, and you are sliding it forward and lifting your back off the floor as you do that. You could do the same thing forward too. She's like in a push-up position with the ball under her ankles, and as she lifts her hips and pulls the ball forward, she is exercising those muscles in her abdominal area and the hip flexors as well. So there's a lot of things you can do with the ball. I would stick with something like this, making it really easy to do abdominal work without laying on the floor, without being flat on the floor area, but just leaning up against a ball. And then here, leaning forward on the ball, using your arms and legs to strengthen the muscles of your back. Another piece of equipment that I like is a medicine ball or a weighted fitness ball. This is a small ball and they're available in various weights. I have a 3-pounder right here. And what I like with these is I like twisting movements. So you have a little bit of weight that you're adding. And the girl in the picture and in the video link is doing abdominal work. And rather than crunching, she's moving the ball from side to side, adding tension to her muscles in that way. We are slowly running out of time, and I'd like to get through the rest of my slides here and give you some time for questions. So I'm going to skip that video link. The Bosu Ball is another piece of equipment that I have. It's over here in my back corner. It's bright pink. It's a half ball on a flat surface. And it is really for balance and stability. It's an item that makes any given exercise more challenging because in addition to what you're doing, like squats right here, she's doing a squat, but she's on this ball. So in addition to the difficulty of just the squat, she's got to hold her balance. Same with push-ups. Push-ups are hard enough, right? But if you're holding on an uneven surface and one that's cushiony, it's kind of soft, it's going to give a little bit to the right and left. You also have to be focusing on your balance. I would consider the Bosu Ball to be a higher level of difficulty, maybe not recommended for a beginning exerciser. Yoga mats obviously are necessary if you're going to do any kind of floor work. You want a nice surface to lay on rather than, you know, a hard floor or a crunchy carpet or scratchy carpet. Yoga mats also offer a certain amount of stickiness to them. So if you're doing a stretch, it's going to hold and keep you from sliding. Like think in yoga of downward dog, where you're on your hands and feet on the floor and your hips are high in the air and you want to press into your heels, pressing your feet down on the floor for extra strength. But if you're on a slidey surface, your feet are going to slide and you won't have the advantage. You won't feel the efficiency of that stretch. So a yoga mat really helps with that as well. Plus they're cushiony and soft and nice to have underneath you as you work out. And finally, a foam roller. Now, foam roller is a great piece of equipment to have for rehabilitation and for sore muscles. It's amazing. And they're available pretty much anywhere now. I've seen them at places, you know, like a discount big box store, like a Walmart. Check for Five Below. If you have that chain of stores, they often have inexpensive fitness equipment. When I go and look for them on Amazon, they always seem to be sold out. So I don't actually own a foam roller, but it is on my list. And I have a video here real quick to show you of a guy demonstrating, just really quick. We'll look at a couple of those and I'll take questions.
Hi, I'm Catherine from Viva Physiotherapy and this is Bede. Today we're going to show you some stretches for
Shoot.
your back on the foam roller. So you'll see Bede's lying on the foam roller vertically. So if you can put your hands up to the roof, take your hands and separate them back towards the floor either side of you. And we call this stretch the crucifix. So go back just as far so that you feel the stretch.
His foam roller is just like a fat pool noodle.
Pressure on the front of your shoulder joint.
It's smooth.
For 15 to 20 seconds, breathing smoothly through the movement. After that, taking your hands back up to the roof, clasp your hands together so that you feel the stretch gently. After that, taking your hands back up to the roof, clasp your hands together, bending your elbows, just place your hands on the roller behind your head and drop your elbows out to the side. Relaxing here for again another 20 or so seconds. And then the third level here is to take your hands from behind your head, straight back up to the roof, keep your elbows straight, join your palms together, and take your hands, straight arms all the way back over your head to the floor behind you. Again, holding for 10, 15 seconds.
So that's just one. There's another video I thought would come up. I was trying to fast forward, but it didn't. Another video that shows foam rolling on a sore calf muscle and shows how to do it. The gentleman is seated on the floor with the foam roller under his calf muscle. And he is moving his body like here in this picture. He's actually, see how his behind is lifted off the ground just slightly, and with his arms, he's pushing himself just a little bit forward and back on that roller. And this is a different type of a foam roller with notches and grooves. So if you have overdone it and your calf muscle is sore, this would be great for that. And here she's showing it on the side of the hip. Another good exercise. I think I included a whole sheet on the use of a foam roller. So we have about 10 minutes or less left in the class. If you have some specific questions for me, I'll do my best to answer.
Is a stationary bike a good exercise bike? Because I have one.
A stationary bike is wonderful. If you are comfortable, if you like the seat, if you, you want to get some cardio workout in, it's non-impact, relatively safe. So yes, I would love a stationary bike.
Yeah, I have one of those mini ones, just for, they're really
just the feet part, like an under desk peddler. They have them. I was looking at them and I was going to include it in the session today, but honestly, there's so many wonderful pieces of equipment and I just had to limit it to things that were a little bit more portable. But yes, that would be another wonderful idea. It's small enough to fit under the desk, and they even
Yes,
have them
right.
in there as an elliptical. So the
Correct.
movement is not just directly circular pedaling, but even more of that elliptical motion,
Yes.
like the big ellipticals at the gym. So
I
that's
know
a
you can
great
use them when you're
Martha,
watching
if you
TV.
have your hand up. Martha, unmute your microphone. There you
Gotcha.
go.
Okay. I have been recently diagnosed with peripheral neuropathy, and my
Yes.
feet will get sore, will get very, very cold. Would one of those yoga balls in the chair take care of the pressure I'm putting on my legs when I sit like that?
You know, I can't really answer that. I think you would have to test that out and see.
Okay.
I know that sitting on the ball takes away the idea that when I'm on a regular chair, the bottom of the chair cuts into the back of my thighs, just slightly hampering a bit of circulation. And maybe that's what you're referring to. So I would say that in that regard, that's probably, that might be a really good thing for you to try.
My daughter has one I can borrow, so I can try that. And
You can check it out. Yes.
And I can check with my neurologist too. Also, I have osteoporosis and I walk a lot. What can I do for the bones in my arms? Is it just really the weights?
Weight bearing exercise is what's recommended for osteopenia, osteoporosis. I don't really know medically, like if you can reverse it at all, but maybe you can slow down the progression with weight bearing exercises. So I do recommend that.
The weight bearing would be lifting weights with my arms. Okay,
yes,
gotcha.
exactly.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Yep, that was great. Thanks. Anybody else? You guys have been wonderful. I'm going to have to move on and share my thank you slides. And if you're able to come to the 1:30 class, that's just going to be straight up questions and answers. So I hope we have enough questions and answers to go for an hour.
So Stacy, are you going to try and incorporate the resistant band class?
I don't know. I might.
Okay.
Do that.
Or at least half the class with the resistant band and then half with the weights or something like that.
Sure.
That would be great.
You would like that? I think
Yeah.
I fear a little bit of having people not come because they don't have bands. So I really try to make it so that even if you have no equipment, you're still going to benefit from the movement. And most likely without a band, you're still going to benefit from the same action. So that's not a bad idea. Let me work on that.
They can get a belt or that tie that you're talking about, or some pantyhose.
Oh yeah, there you go. Tights, socks. Sure. Very creative.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. This is John. I don't know.
I'm going to share my thank you slides here to try and keep us on track. So again, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you got something out of today's class, maybe what you came for. I hope you got some questions answered. The best way to thank myself and any of the guides is by sharing your experience. If you're active on social media, use the hashtag #GetSetUp or use @GetSetUp or email Liz directly at getsetup.io and share your pictures, your stories, your comments, your feedback, anything that you can tell us about the classes, maybe how we can make them better for you and more effective. Look for other related classes that are going to get you moving, like Ageless Grace, line dancing, and yoga. And my next classes are my regular morning fitness classes. Monday is core fitness. Tuesday is let's get moving. Wednesday is seated strength training. And Thursday is fitness combo. But my very next class at 1:30 is called Let's Talk Fitness. And I don't really have anything planned, so I hope that enough people come with questions and we can just go for it. Be on the lookout for the email that will include, like I said, there will be a document, a downloadable PDF document that will include the links to the videos that I shared, as well as some other exercises that are included. They're just documents from different sources online. The email that you receive will also offer you some suggestions for other classes that you might like and give you the link to provide feedback about this class and other classes. You can invite a friend to share in your Get Set Up experience. If you're on a desktop computer, you look for this blue tab that says invite a friend. And then you'll get to the next part here where you can put in your friend's email address and click here to send them this email directly. If you're on a mobile device, you're going to look for this screen. Remember this email right here. This is the important email. Write it down, put it in your notes. It's help@getsetup.io. And that's how you reach out with questions and feedback, to request a recording of the session, to let somebody know you have an interest and you would like to host a group, or to suggest a different class. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate all your comments and questions, and I hope I answered your questions today. Thank you so much again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.